Hello and welcome to the Eye, your English news bulletin. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. In protest against the alleged molestation of two minor girls in Noklak by the former Deputy Commissioner of Noklak, the Kemunungan Menyo Hoikam conducted an agitation in the heart of Noklak town today, August 3rd. The Confederation of Nagaland Chamber of Commerce and Industry has lashed out at the Naga political groups for issuing threats to the business community. Movement of vehicles disrupted and paddy fields destroyed after a massive mudslide occurred in Manipur's Lamlenkon in Tujang Vaichong jurisdiction along the state's oldest highway. Now for the news in details. After a lengthy discussion on the Naga political issue at the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, a 5-point resolution was unanimously passed by the NLA in its 8th session held in Kohima today. The resolution was moved by Chief Minister Nifyu Rio and seconded by the Leader of Opposition, T.R. Ziliang. The details are as follows. The House appeals to the negotiating parties of the Indo-Naga political dialogue to resume the peace talks with a positive approach and mutual respect for each other by setting aside preconditions in defense to the Naga people's cry for long-term peace and resolve the contentious issues of the competencies at the earliest. The House appeals to all Naga political groups to make serious efforts towards unity and reconciliation. The constant antagonism against each other, especially in public space and the media, is sending out a wrong message to the masses, considering the fact that we are all pursuing the same aspiration of peace and political solution. Taking the positive example set by the elected members of the NLA who have risen above party affiliations to unite for the Naga political issue, the Naga political groups should make concerted efforts and listen to the voice of the people for unity and oneness. The House, while appreciating the constant role of contributions of the churches, civil societies and the NGOs towards facilitating peace and strengthening the peace process, appeals to the civil societies, mass-based organizations and the tribal ho-hos to make renewed efforts towards creating a conducive atmosphere for the early realization of political solution by pursuing unity, reconciliation and oneness. All members of the House have come together under the same banner in line with the election manifestos of all political parties, committing themselves to the people that all elected members are prepared to make any sacrifices for an inclusive, honorable and acceptable solution. Lastly, the House therefore appealed to the Naga political negotiating groups to come together in order to hammer out their differences and give the people one solution and one agreement. The 3-day 8th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly began on Tuesday, August 3rd in Kohima. The first day of business was dominated by discussion on matters of urgent public importance pertaining such as the border issue, status of the Registry of Indigenous Inhabitants of Nagaland, exercise Foothill Road and vaccination. In regard to the Naga political issue, a legislator said more efforts need to be exerted. Initiating the discussions, the Minister for Planning and Coordination, Land Revenue and Parliamentary Affairs, Nibakrunu, said this is a crucial time and the stakeholders will have to make more efforts. He felt that the House should adopt a resolution and approach the negotiating parties. Among the many matters that figured in the question included the police camps along the Assam-Nagaland border, status of the Registry of Indigenous Inhabitant of Nagaland exercise, status of the Foothill Road, and status of the COVID-19 vaccination drive and others in the state. Nagaland Chief Minister Nifyu Rio moved government bills on the introduction of the Nagaland Professions, Trades, Callings, and Employment Taxation 5th Amendment Bill 2020 and Nagaland Lokayukta 2021 Bill. The Assembly Speaker Sharingen Lungkumar informed that consideration and passing of the bills will be taken up on August 5th. Rio and the Minister for Tribal Affairs and Higher Education, Tamjan Imna Along, placed a copy of the annual report of the Nagaland Informatics Commission and the rules bylaws of the Nagaland Eklavya Model Residential Schools Management Society. Earlier, Assembly Commissioner Secretary Dr. P.J. Anthony reported the assent of the Governor of Nagaland on 6 bills passed by the Assembly. It included the Nagaland Goods and Services Tax, Nagaland Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management, Nagaland Appropriation Bill, Bill 124/2021. The House also made obituary references to the demise of MLAs. The House paid respect to the departed souls by observing a minute of silence. The session is set to continue till August 5th. In protest against the alleged molestation of 2 minor girls in Noklak by the former Deputy Commissioner of Noklak, Rene Wilfred, the Kemyungan Menyo Hoikam, or the KMH, conducted an agitation in the heart of Noklak town today, August 3rd.
Law is equal to everyone. Appin to the law no equal to yanya. No one copy pamong ate chino.
Addressing the gathering, the president of KMH, Nyukmai, said that an FIR has been filed by the victims on July 27, and the KMH, being the Mothers Association, stands firm for the welfare and protection of rights of the women. She also mentioned that such unlawful acts must be brought to light and justice be sought lawfully. She reiterated that law is equal to everyone and the law must be enforced even if the person is of high profile. After the session, the gathering marched to the public ground and concluded the protest by marking their presence. The Confederation of Nagaland Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the CNCCI, has lashed out at the Naga political groups for issuing threats to the business community and has said that the Naga political issue is not with the business community or in closing or opening shops. The CNCCI issued a statement on August 3rd taking note of a reported threat against the business community allegedly by the NNPGs of the Sumi region. The CNCCI vehemently condemns the recent ultimatum and threat being circulated on social media by the NNPGs of Sumi region against the business community of the region, the organization stated. The CNCCI takes serious note that members of the business community have been made victims in the past and in the present due to the political differences between the different Naga political groups. Although the CNCCI respects all Naga political groups in their pursuit for a final solution, the group should understand that the solution to Naga political issue neither lies with the business community nor in forced closing or opening of their establishments, the CNCCI remarked. The CNCCI has asked the NNPGs to resolve the Naga political issue on the right platforms and stop harassing the peaceful sections of the Society for Naga Solution. Conducting business activity is their livelihood and that cannot be contested nor infringed upon by any organization, the CNCCI reminded. A number of shops in some areas of Dimapur were seen closed on August 3rd today in response to the call of the NSC and IM, which stated to be protesting against the Government of India apparently for not taking forward the framework agreement between the armed group and the government. Curiously, unlike other times, even fuel stations and pharmacies, which are essential services, were closed. The Indian government and the NSC and IM signed the framework agreement on August 3, 2015. On the other hand, the Naga national political groups also issued a notice asking business establishments to do business as usual, while the Nagaland Chamber of Commerce and Industry also asked establishments to do normal business. Labour Commissioner S.L. Wati Iyer has informed that in line with recommendation of the 44th, 45th and 46th session of Indian Labour Conference and demands from various quarters, the Government of India has amended the Maternity Benefit Act of 1961 by way of the Maternity Benefit Amendment or Act of 2017. By this amendment, one important provision was enabling provision for permitting work from home for nursing mothers, it is informed.
According to the updates from the Department of Information and Public Relations, Section 5, Part 5 of the Act provides that in case where the nature of work assigned to a woman is of such nature that she may work from home, the employer may allow her to do so after availing of the maternity benefit for such period and on such conditions as the employer and the woman may mutually agree. In the context of prevailing COVID-19 pandemic, the nursing mothers are a highly vulnerable lot, and the need to protect this segment of the population from getting infected by the coronavirus cannot be overemphasized, the IPR stated. Allowing nursing mothers to work from home can contribute to protecting them and their babies from getting infected, the update stated. It is in this scenario that the enabling provision for allowing work from home assumes significance and hence needs to be popularized among the women workforce, and the employers are advised to allow more and more nursing mothers to work from home wherever nature of work allows to do so. For nursing mothers at least for a period of 1 year from the date of birth of the child, the update stated. All employers of mines, plantations, shops and establishments either in organized sector or unorganized sector and factories are advised to comply with the above information, the IPR stated.
Deputy Commissioner of Parents in the Wapang Iyer has informed that the ongoing lockdown in the district has been extended till the 18th of August, and all such activities restricted or permitted as per the order shall continue to be operative, with further relaxations and reopening of activities.
From the IPR on Saturday, shops and business establishments dealing in all kinds of goods will be permitted to open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The duration of night curfew is further reduced and it will be from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. It stated. Takeaways, home delivery outlets will be allowed to open and function except during the curfew hours from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. It is informed. Buses will be allowed to ply but with up to 50% occupancy and subject to both the driver and attendants fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or should have taken the first dose against COVID-19, and 15 days should have passed since taking the first dose, and if none of the aforesaid criteria is fulfilled, then the driver attendant should carry a COVID-19 negative test report taken through either RT-PCR, TrueNAT or CBNAT, with the swab taken for testing not earlier than 15 days. Further, inter-district bus service, taxi service is allowed subject to the conditions as mentioned above, and in addition, the passengers should also be either fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or should have taken the first dose against COVID-19, and 15 days should have passed since taking the first dose. If none of the two aforesaid criteria is fulfilled, then the passengers should carry a COVID-19 negative test report taken through either RT-PCR, TrueNAT or CBNAT, with a swab taken for testing not earlier than 72 hours from the date of travel. All other issues not specified in the office order and preceding orders shall be decided by the DTF and the SDTF in consultation with the DTF, it stated.
The government authorities have cautioned schools against resuming classes without taking permission from the district task force of the respective district. The Department of Information and Public Relations stated its updates on Tuesday, August 3rd, that the government has permitted resumption of classes for students of classes 11 and 12 with effect from 2nd of August, subject to strict adherence to the SOPs notified by the government. According to the aforesaid order, schools are required to obtain permission from the respective district task force for the reopening and are to continue with the present system of online teaching while awaiting clearance from the DTF, the IPR stated. All in concern are cautioned not to resume normal classes for students of classes 11 and 12 without obtaining permission from the DTF, and also not to resume regular classes for students of other classes before being permitted by the government, the IPR stated. The massive mudslide that occurred in Manipur's Lamlenkon in Tujang Vaichung jurisdiction along the state's oldest highway, the Imphal Tamenglong road, submerged more than 300 meters stretch of the road, completely disrupting movement of all vehicles. Residents of Tujang Vaichong and Selsi village in Kangpokpi district of Manipur woke up on Monday morning to the sight of a massive mudslide that reportedly submerged around 30 hectares of their paddy field. The mudslide that occurred in Lamlenkon in Tujang Vaichong jurisdiction in between Selsi village along the Imphal Tamenglong road, commonly known as IT road, also submerged more than 300 meters stretch of the road, completely disrupting traffic movement. The place of the incident is about 37 kilometers away from the district headquarters, Kangpokpi. KSO Tuilang Block President Noklak immediately sent out an SOS via social media seeking immediate attention and swift action on the part of the authorities in the morning from the spot with visuals of the massive mudslide and its impact. While many extended best wishes and prayers, the Chief Minister's Facebook post read, "Repeated landslide at T. Vaichung IT Road, Kangpokpi District. Please stop deforestation. Please stop poppy plantation. Please stop deforestation, otherwise such landslides will continue all over the state." His post drew condemnation on social media right after it went viral, and people of the Tuilang area also expressed disappointment over the Chief Minister's statement. Mention may be made that Imphal Tamenglong road construction was completed a few years ago, but owing to its reported substandard quality and alleged absence of proper drainage and a retaining wall, the road returned to its deplorable condition. President of the KSO Tuilang Block, Noklak, said that a massive mudslide occurred this early morning at around 3:30 a.m. at Lamlengkong in Tujang Vaichung subdivisional headquarters jurisdiction owing to incessant heavy rainfall the previous night. Apart from about 30 hectares of paddy field belonging to 22 farmers, more than 300 meters of the state's oldest highway has been submerged by the mudslide, while it has also disrupted vehicular movement. The farmers affected by the mudslide are most likely to suffer from food shortages next year, he added. Some portions of the road submerged by the mudslide with debris were cleared today, he said. One JCB was sent by the 4th Bihar Regiment, Tamil Battalion, on request, and another local JCB was engaged in clearing the debris, he added. They will continue to work on clearing the road tomorrow, but if it continues to rain this evening, the worst could happen again, he said. In other news, Nagaland's Deputy Chief Minister Y. Patten today informed that the Foothill road construction work has stopped since funding of under SPA is discontinued. However, construction of the RCC bridge 2-lane over Doyang River near Governor's Camp is in progress, said Patten while replying to MLA Kuzoluzo Nino in a starred question on the floor of the House today at the NLA session. Patten, who is Minister in charge of roads and bridges, informed that since funding under SPA is discontinued, the state has proposed to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways for declaring this road as a national highways to take up the project under national highways. The decision by MORT is still pending, Deputy Chief Minister added. Imphal East Police in Manipur has arrested an individual named Lalu Shah for possession of Desrim, which is popularly called Remdesivir. And upon inquiry, the drugs were found to be fake. Shah was caught by a team of Porompat police station personnel while conducting frisking at the new check-on in Imphal East District. According to Imphal East Police, Lalu Shah should be around 55 years of age and originally from Bihar's Samastipur district. According to Imphal East Police Superintendent N. Hirojit Singh, this is a big interstate racket and the kingpin is reportedly an individual from Guwahati. Shah was arrested along with 441 desrim, a mobile phone and a boarding pass for Air Asia, update stated. A complaint has been taken up at Porompat police station and investigations are on, SP Hirojit Singh added. That's all for tonight's English News Bulletin. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.